Yep. Well, Leon, you knew you were playing Illinois Tuesday night, but obviously now we've gotten a much better look at them. What stands out to you about the Illini?
Well, they're a Big Ten team, and they've had some great wins, and they got really good players, and they played hard in their last game, and I think they look terrific. So we got our hands full, and traveling back there and home game for them, and so we'll be fighting for our lives, no question.
Matchup-wise, how does it kind of compare to your team?
Well, they're like I said, a Big Ten team with some really good big guys, and they can shoot, and they got some great players on the perimeter that can score, and so we've got challenges all over the place, no question. And like I said, they got good size, they got good athleticism, good quickness, and then they can really shoot it.
How good is Malcolm Hill? I mean, he's second team Big Ten 2 years in a row. Maybe compare him to his style and some of the people we've played.
Well, one of the all-time scorers there in a school that's rich in basketball tradition. I mean, that tells you something right away. You don't even have to watch him play to know more. But he's a great player. He had a big game last game, and but he's not alone. They got a lot of good players that were recruited to the Big Ten.
To get a chance, we're talking football about playing a Power 5 school, but in basketball, to get a chance on national TV to play a Power 5 school, how big is this for the program?
Well, it's a great opportunity, and just in postseason when you start breaking postseason down and you're watching all these games and you look up and we're playing Monday night and there's 16 teams left in the NCAA tournament and there's some odd teams left in the night. You're one of the last ones standing, and that's a special feeling and a special opportunity, like you said, to go into a Big Ten place and national TV, but it's also a big challenge. We know that too, and we'll have to play really well.
I think only your second game in like 18 years on regular ESPN for this program.
Yeah.
What does that mean from that standpoint?
Well, our guy, that's what players want, and from the opportunity to be out there and let the world see you. But like I said, you're playing a great opponent, and so you better be ready to go, or you don't want to look bad on ESPN either. So, like I said, it's a big challenge, and that's the neat thing about our guys. Probably maybe one of the best things about them is how they've surprised people, and hopefully got another one in us.
Any idea what David Wacker's status might be? We saw him obviously go out of that game Tuesday at Utah.
Yeah, he separated it or dislocated his shoulder, and that's a tough one to come back from. So, it's probably going to be it for David.
With and then so how do you roll with that? Then you mentioned Illinois looks like they trot out three guys who are 6'10"ish who get in there quite a bit. So how do you kind of deal with that now?
Well, we've had pretty good luxury all year of not having injuries. I mean, we've had some minor things, and guys have been able to play through some stuff, and bless David's heart, he's been able to play through stress reaction all year, and we probably aren't where we are if he wasn't able to do that. But this one's probably not going to be able to do it. And the good thing for us is we've got three bigs that we've been playing, and they've all gotten experience. Well, now those two others, their role's going to have to increase. They're going to have to play better, and they're going to have to be a big factor for us.
And especially late in the game, Zach was huge for you guys.
Yeah, he was terrific, and if he can turn a corner and live there and live in that second half Zach, then I think he can really help us.
If I'd have told you before that game that neither James nor Nick will hit a three-pointer in that game, what would you have thought, and how nice to have them maybe get that game out of the way going forward?
Well, not only that, but you score 4 points between the two of them, and I would have said we'd probably lose by 20, especially the way Utah had, they beat Cal by 30, 10 days before or whatever, and so I was worried about that, and so if you would have told me that, I would have said we had no chance. So credit to those other guys, and Chandler really put us on his back, especially in that first half when nobody else scored, and that's how we kind of challenged those big guys at halftime and said, if one of you guys can step up, we got a chance to win this, and they did.
But isn't that sort of your team all year? I mean, it's been different people that can. I mean, if you say, well, how many games has somebody been a lead contributor or the top 2 or 3 contributors? You've had different people do it different nights.
No question, and that's been a big key to us, and hopefully that continues. But when we want to get all our guys clicking on one night, and when we do that, I think we had that a little bit in Air Force, and that's what this game's probably going to require.
This one would be your third game in 16 days or something. I mean, from that standpoint, do you, a lot of times late in the season, teams are wearing down, things like that. Do you feel like the guys are pretty fresh?
I do. I they're excited to play. They're had a lot of fun. We went down and competed our tails off, and that's what makes it fun. And when you can go down to Utah and get it done, and they really, really enjoyed themselves. They enjoy being together. I mean, we're working as hard as we've ever worked, and it's March 17th or whatever, 18th or whatever the date is. And so, I'm just really proud of our guys, and that's the culture we're building, is that we want these guys to keep getting better. And this late in the season, we are getting better. We did some things in Utah that we haven't done. I mean, we didn't play the perfect game, but we did some pretty special things down there.
What's unique, what's challenging about facing a team that is being led by an interim head coach?
Well, there's sometimes when you have a change like that, there's just a different voice, and like you said, a lot of teams this time of year, they're, it's stale and it's not going good and not going as good as they wanted, and so, but all of a sudden something new can refresh, and I mean, you've seen that happen before in different spots, and so the way they played against Valpo looked like they were an inspired team, and they played really, really well.
How do you feel like, the team's maybe matured, even in the last few weeks, in that game, you trusted Marcus Dickinson to take a huge shot, a guy who doesn't shoot a lot of threes,
Right.
But things like that, it seems like you're kind of, trusting those guys more and more, and they're delivering more and more. It seems like they've just kind of matured all around.
They have, and I have to keep trusting them more. Sometimes I look out there and I went, oh boy, it's crunch time, and we got a bunch of freshmen out there, but I can't look at them as freshmen anymore because they're doing things that they couldn't have done in Costa Rica. They couldn't have done at the start of the year at Charleston. They have all matured, and the freshmen aren't freshmen, the sophomores aren't sophomores, and collectively as a group, I chuckled at practice yesterday because the way they were playing compared to the way they were 4 months ago, it's really amazing.
Do you get excited when you play a new team, a new venue? I know in the Mountain West you play the same teams over and over.
Yeah.
These guys, is this part of the nice part of this too? You get a chance to go somewhere new and play somebody
Yeah,
new?
absolutely. And anytime you get to play, like you said, a Big Ten opponent on their court and on ESPN is a great venue, and that's exciting. And there is a grind to the league. They know all your stuff. They know what you're going to do. You know where you're staying. You know there is an excitement to get to play in a new opportunity, and I think our guys will be excited to play that.
We're kind of talking about this after the game, but correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys signed Marcus relatively late in the recruiting cycle.
Right.
Signing him so late, did you think he'd make the impact that he has this freshman year?
Well, there was reasons why he was available, and that the thing about him that I liked maybe the most is how many games he had won through his high school career, and when you get winners, they know how to win, and I think that's probably his best attribute.